Hello students, so welcome back to UPSC Prelims 2024 solutions. So until now, we have discussed history solutions, we have discussed CSAT, GS paper 2 passages solutions, and we have also come up with government schemes and polity solutions. So in this session, we'll be discussing at length about geography, science and technology, and environment and ecology. No? So there were about 40 questions from all three subjects combined, and one by one we'll take up those questions here. Okay, so my name is Anuj Singh. I am founder director as well as faculty of geography, CSAT and essay writing at IQCivils IS Academy, Guwahati, and today we'll be discussing set C of the UPSC Prelims GS paper 1 question paper. Okay, so let us begin. So question number 1, consider the following statements. So statement 1, there is instability and worsening security situation in the Sahel region. Statement 2, there have been military takeovers, coups, DTET in several countries of the Sahel region in the recent past. So as you all know, you are UPSC aspirant, and last 3 years have been very destabilizing for the Sahel region. Number one, what is Sahel region? Sahel region is basically the region of Western Africa as well as North Central Africa, and it primarily includes 6 countries. From east to west. So from east to west, Sudan, Chad, Niger, Nigeria, Mali, Mauritania. So 6 countries which spread over the Sahara Desert of Western and North Central Africa. And certainly, we are also aware about the fact that these countries have been under a lot of economic pressure in the recent past, and not only in the last 3 years, but for around 30 to 40 years now, they have been under severe economic crisis, food crisis, inflation crisis, and a lot of migration also has happened from these countries to other parts of the world. And so several countries here have undergone military takeovers or coups. So what is a military coup? It is an illegal or overt action, an action which is done deliberately by some illegal terrorist organization to take over the incumbent government of that particular country. So governments try to go for social welfare, and they try to develop a country from socio-economic perspective. But military coups, they destroy a country. So the country dives into a deeper crisis, a deeper socio-economic crisis, wherein people are left with no choice except to become very poor. So these countries become poor, and people reign in the poverty, and that poverty is not good. So this has happened in the Sahel region, and Sahel region has seen this. So basically, in this question, when we say statement 1, there is instability and worsening security situation in the Sahel region. So yes, statement 1 is correct, and this has happened regularly in the last 3 years. And the reason behind instability and worsening is statement 2, which is clearly saying that there have been multiple military takeovers and coups in several countries in the Sahel region. So undoubtedly, statement 1 and 2 both are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. So option A is correct. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. Okay, so we'll go ahead to question number 2. So statement A is the right answer. Now question number 2 is statement 1, again the similar kind of statement assertion type of question. So statement 1 here talks about India does not import apples from the United States of America. So this is wrong. So statement 1 is wrong. India imports apples from United States of America. But I'll like to tell you a brief story here. So in 2019, India imposed a retaliatory customs duty on imports from United States, and it imposed retaliatory duty on imports not only on apples, but it imposed the duty on chickpeas and lentils also. And why did India do this? So the term is retaliatory duty. So it was in retaliation to some action of USA, and that action was that USA imposed some extra customs duty on steel imports and aluminium imports from India. And India in retaliation imposed certain duties on certain agricultural products, mainly fruits and vegetables. So chickpeas, lentils, apples, and also almonds fell into that category. But India never stopped importing apples from USA. So although from 2019 to 2023, until the G20 summit, when Joe Biden came to India for G20, until that time the duties were high from India also. So the retaliatory duties were higher. But before Joe Biden's visit, it was agreed by both the countries that they will mutually waive off the duties. So USA will waive off the duties on steel and aluminium imports from India, and India will waive off the duties from apple, chickpeas, lentils, and almonds. Import from USA. Right. So and recently, the imports have increased from USA, and India just imported 50,000 boxes around 6 months back. And although it dropped in the last 3 years, it dropped from 4.5 lakh tons to about 3.7 lakh tons, right? But import has dropped, but it has again risen since the G20 summit, which was there last year in October, November, right? So since G20 summit, again the imports have risen, right? So statement one is wrong. Statement two, in India, the law prohibits the import of genetically modified food without the approval of the competent authority. So this statement is correct. So without the approval of FSSAI, so Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, uh, India cannot import genetically modified food from outside country. And it's not only about importing food, it's also about FSSAI. Without FSSAI's approval, India cannot manufacture, India cannot import, and India cannot use, or India cannot sell genetically modified food. Okay, so definitely the approval of a competent authority, which is Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, is required. So statement 2 is correct. So statement 1 is incorrect, statement 2 is correct. So basically the answer is D, option D. So statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct. So number 2 question answer is D for Delhi. Okay. Moving to another question from Geography, Science and Tech, and Environment and Ecology. So we straight away go to question number 6 on your screen. So this question is based on, it's a very interesting question. So again, the statement and assertion type of question. So statement 1, the European Parliament approved the Net Zero Industry Act recently. So you have to look at statement number 1 in question number 6. So it is correct. Yes, European Parliament approved the Net Zero Industry Act recently. And so this Net Zero Industry Act is all about, uh, uh, increasing the share of technology up to 40%. Which technology? Net zero technology up to 40% by 2030. So this is basically about renewable energies, nuclear energies, industrial decarbonization, and definitely European Parliament has undertaken and approved the Net Zero Industry Act. And statement 2 here, the European Union intends to achieve carbon neutrality by 2040 and therefore aims to develop all of its own clean technology by that time. This statement is slightly factually wrong because European Union intends to achieve net zero technology manufacturing by 2030, and also at the same time it intends to capture nearly 15% of the global market for net zero technology. So it's not 2040, it's 2030, and by 2030 they aim to manufacture 40 up to 40% of the total technology in EU, which will be net zero technology, not complete carbon neutrality. And also at the same time, they are aiming by 2030 year to basically capture 15% of the global market for net zero technology. So statement 2 is factually incorrect. No. So what is the answer? So answer is statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So option C is the right answer for number 6 question. Okay. So we'll move to another question. You can see on your screen on the right hand side, number 7, statement 1. Recently, Venezuela has achieved a rapid recovery from its economic crisis and succeeded in preventing its people from fleeing or emigrating to other countries. Okay. So yes, so this is another global crisis which has happened recently. So we all know Venezuela is a country located on the northern coastline of South America, and the kind of economic crisis which is going on in Venezuela is absolutely unfortunate, and there have been migration of nearly 8 million Venezuelans all over the world, and out of 8 million Venezuelans, nearly 6.5 million people from Venezuela have fled to countries nearby. And of these, nearly 3 million Venezuelans have fled to Colombia. Colombia is another neighboring country to Venezuela in South America northern coastline. So, what is the reason behind the emigration? Emigration is basically due to high inflation rates, food crisis, unavailability of medicines, and these things have induced high poverty rates. Unemployment is going on, and this Venezuelan crisis of emigration of people outside Venezuela is the largest crisis in the history of Latin America so far. And that's why last 1 year Venezuela has been in news. And Venezuela has not achieved any rapid recovery. It is still struggling. So statement one is incorrect. So Venezuela is struggling and it is going on, and there is the largest emigration of people, which is called forceful emigration from Venezuela, and this is highly unfortunate. So Venezuela has not achieved any kind of rapid recovery. In fact, the country is under immense crisis. Statement two: Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserves. Definitely, this is correct. And this has been proven in the last 4 years that Venezuela has the highest proven oil reserves at 303 million barrels, which is higher than 6 million barrels compared to the second country, which is Saudi Arabia. So, Saudi Arabia, as per the reports given in the last 3 years, Saudi Arabia has about 297 million barrels of proven oil reserves. So there is a marginal difference, but certainly Venezuela has overcome, Saudi Arabia, and it has toppled Saudi Arabia as rank one. So now Venezuela is rank one in terms of proven oil reserves in the world. So for a country which has the largest oil reserves as of now, and we can see the crisis, economic crisis, and the socio-economic situation is very bad. And it is very unfortunate that the country which has the highest oil reserves in the world right now has to undergo socio-economic crisis. But this is going on. And 8 million people replaced from the country, and they are searching for new homes, they're searching for new opportunities, and they're fleeing to nearby Colombia, Ecuador, they are fleeing to Chile, Argentina as well. So, and Colombia has been a very good neighbor, very supportive neighbor, and out of 8 million, 6.5 million, which is 85 to 90% of the people, have been supported by the neighboring country of Colombia. Okay, so what is the answer for this? So again, statement one is incorrect, statement two is correct. So answer is option D. You can see statement one is incorrect and statement two is correct, right? So we'll move to another question. So we'll straight go to question number 18. Okay. So question number 18. Yes, so on your screen in about 2 seconds. Yes. So question number 18, again the statement one, statement two type of question. So Sumet pipeline is a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipments to Europe. So Sumet pipeline is located at the northern coastline of Red Sea, and definitely it's a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas, because all of the shipments for which go through pipeline, basically the oil shipments, they take the route of Red Sea via Mediterranean Sea, and then they enter Europe. So this is a shorter route, definitely, because otherwise the pipeline, if not Red Sea, it has to be taken from either the by ships. The oil has to be taken by ships, which is through circumnavigation of Africa. But Sumet pipeline serves as a strategic route for the oil and natural gas shipments to Europe, and it saves a lot of time and cost also. So strategic route. So basically Suez Canal is also nearby, and then from southern Europe it is distributed all over to northern and central Europe also. So this is correct, statement one. Statement two, Sumet pipeline connects the Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea. So definitely statement two is the correct explanation of statement one, because if Sumet pipeline is not connecting Red Sea with Mediterranean Sea, then there is no savings on time and cost. and that is why, because it connects Red Sea with Mediterranean Sea. So Mediterranean Sea is located south of southern Europe and north of North Africa. So basically it is bordering Egypt, Algeria, Libya, Morocco, and it is one of the highest saline seas in Europe and African region, no? And certainly it is sandwiched between Europe in the north and Africa in the south, So because Sumet pipeline is located there, that's why it is a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipment. So answer is very, very simple. Option A, both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1 very, very nicely. So 18th question answer is A. Moving to another question, question number 19. Red Sea receives very little precipitation in any form. No water enters the Red Sea from rivers. Okay, so Red Sea receives very little precipitation in any form is very true, because Red Sea is located at about 25 to 30 degree north latitude, and in this latitude, there is shifting of pressure belts, because we know Mediterranean region is known for shifting of pressure belts, and as you all are civil service aspirants, you might have read about Mediterranean type of climate as well. So this region which falls, the southwesterlies blow northward of 30 degree north latitude, and towards equator northeasterlies blow, so it falls in the transitional belt. And also when winds they blow from Sahara desert, or the winds when they come from the Arabian Peninsula, they have very little moisture in them. So definitely Red Sea gets very little precipitation in any form. So these are high pressure belts. So 30 degree north latitude is a high pressure belt in the northern hemisphere. Similarly, 30 degree south is a high pressure belt in the southern hemisphere. So around 30 degree north transitional zone, this is a zone of descending winds. So winds they fall on the ground from upper atmosphere, and they reach the ground level via lower atmosphere. And definitely descending winds, we all know, winds which blow vertically downwards, they are unable to form any clouds, and therefore there is no rainfall, right? Number 2, no water enters the Red Sea from rivers. Definitely it is correct. Some people confuse this statement with Nile River, but Nile River does not drain in Red Sea. Nile River drains in the southeastern coastline of Mediterranean Sea, north of Egypt, just north of Egypt, near Cairo, north of Cairo, which is the capital city of Egypt. And this is correct. No water enters the Red Sea from the river. So basically, Red Sea does not get much freshwater supply either from the rivers, neither it gets much freshwater supply from external source, which is rainfall. And that's why the salinity levels or salt content of Red Sea is also high, also high. So definitely very easy. Option C is the right answer. Both 1 and 2 are correct. Okay. Moving to question number 20. Oh, sorry, not question number 20. We'll go to, yes, 20 is correct. So according to the Environmental Protection Agency, which one of the following is the largest source of sulfur dioxide emissions? So sulfur dioxide, basically it's a byproduct of power plants using fossil fuels. So power plants using fossil fuels, a very fine example is coal-based thermal power plants. And thermal power plants not only emit sulfur dioxide, they also emit nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. So most of these gases are known as greenhouse gases. So greenhouse gases, as we all know, are the major causes of global warming. And greenhouse gases, by definition, are those gases which have high heat holding capacity, and they don't allow the long wave radiation, which is reflected from the surface of the earth, to escape properly. And that's why the ambient or atmospheric temperature in the world is rising. And sulfur dioxide is a major byproduct, or it's a major effluent of power plants using fossil fuels. So answer is very, very simple. Option D is the right answer. Okay. Moving to another question. Question number we'll go to. So we have then questions from polity schemes. We'll straight away go to question number 29. Okay, 29. So question number 29, the longest border on your screen on the left, the longest border between any two countries in the world is between? So answer is very simple, Canada and USA, among Argentina or Chile or China and India, Kazakhstan and Russian Federation. So Canada and USA share about 8,000 kilometers of border, followed second by Chile and Argentina in South America, which share about 5,000 kilometers of border, followed by China and India and Kazakhstan and Russian Federation. So this is a very, very factual question. So 8,000 kilometers of border shared between Canada and USA. Among these four options, this is the highest. So answer is very simple, 29. Answer is A. Moving to another question. Now we'll straight away go to question number 51. So we have history questions in between. Okay, history questions are there, polity questions are there, and the next geography, science and tech and environment question in set C is at 51 serial number. Okay, so 51 serial number on your screen right away, so you can have a look. Okay, the total fertility rate on your left, the total fertility rate in an economy is defined as. So again, very simple question, very basic question, not there's no need to explain also. Option D is the right answer. Total fertility rate is the average number of live births a woman would have by the end of her childbearing age. So in India, currently the fertility rate is at 2.1 to 2.2, and certainly what it means is that per mother, which the mother is in her childbearing age, she is producing more than 2 children, and this is one of the reasons in India for increasing population growth. And India is in a state where is in a situation where the birth rate is higher and the death rate has become very, very low, particularly in the last 3 decades. And because population growth rate is the difference between birth rate and death rate, so if birth rate even stabilizes and death rate becomes very less, even then the population growth rate is very high. So if total fertility rate is more than 2, that means 2 parents are replaced by more than 2 children. That means the Indian population continues to rise. Okay, so our answer is very simple. 51 answer is D. Moving to another question, 56 on your screen. 56. Consider the following materials: agricultural residues, corn grain, wastewater treatment sludge, wood mill waste. Which of the above can be used as feedstock for producing sustainable aviation fuel? Again, the answer is very simple. All of them. All of them are producing sustainable aviation fuel. Agricultural residues, they are rice husk or wheat husk. So basically the biomass is very essential and they are able to produce aviation fuel. Corn grain, again, a very good raw material for producing aviation fuel. And wastewater treatment sludge, we all know, is another major material used for producing aviation fuel. And definitely wood mill waste, again, it is a waste but definitely utilized in producing aviation fuel. So answer is very simple, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Moving to another question. Question number 50. So we'll move to another question which is on your screen. 62. Okay, 62. All right. So you see on your right. So consider the following statements. Statement 1. Giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars. Okay, so giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars is the wrong statement. Giant stars do not live longer than dwarf stars. They live shorter than dwarf stars. Now the reason is that giant stars are 100 times bigger than the sun, and dwarf stars are only 10 to 15 times bigger than the sun. And giant stars have a very dense core, and this dense core absorbs or it finishes the hydrogen very, very quickly. So giant stars, although they are big, but since consumption of hydrogen at its dense core, which is heavy also, is at a very rapid rate, so their lifespan is lesser than a dwarf star. Okay. Now statement 2, compared to dwarf stars, giant stars have a greater rate of nuclear reactions. So basically this is a correct statement. So compared to dwarf stars, the rate of nuclear reactions is higher in giant stars. As I have already told you, the giant stars are bigger, their cores are denser, their core is denser, and definitely the rate of nuclear reactions is higher, and consumption of hydrogen at the dense core of giant star is also high. So statement 2 is correct. Statement 1 is contradictory and it is wrong. So what is the answer? 62 answer is D. Okay, D on your screen. Now moving to another question. Question number 63. Alright, so question number 63, just give me a second. Oops, on your screen. Which one of the following is synthesized in human body that dilates blood vessels and increases blood flow? On your left, so answer is very simple. Question number 63, answer is A, nitric oxide. So what nitric oxide does is, it relaxes and expands the blood vessels, and because of relaxation and expansion of blood vessels, there is an increase in blood flow. Again a factual question, and the answer is also very straightforward. So a compound which relaxes and expands the blood vessel, obviously the amount of blood flow per unit time and per unit time will increase in the body. So nitric oxide is the right answer. Another question on your screen, question number 66. If you see on the right hand side, in which of the following are hydrogels used? So one is controlled drug delivery in patients, mobile air conditioning systems, preparation of industrial lubricants. Okay, so the answer is very straightforward. Again, all three are the correct answers. So hydrogels are three-dimensional compounds. So their property is that they are good water absorbers. So whenever hydrogel is coming in touch with water, the chemical reaction produces expansion of hydrogel because it absorbs water very efficiently. So controlled drug delivery in patients, again there is a role of water, definitely hydrogel is used. Mobile air conditioning systems, hydrogel is very efficient because mobile air conditioning systems, what they do is they dehumidify the air. So what hydrogels do is they absorb water vapor from the air, they absorb warmer humid air, and then they absorb water, they finish off water content, water vapor content in the air, and they pump back again the cooler air in the room or wherever they are installed, right? And preparation of industrial lubricants, again a water absorption compound is very efficient in that, and definitely hydrogel is also used for preparation of industrial lubricants. So answer is very simple on your screen. Option D is the right answer. 1, 2 and 3 all are correct. Another question on your screen 67. Which one of the following is the exhaust pipe emission from fuel cell electric vehicles powered by hydrogen? Now we have all read about hydrogen powered electric vehicles, and it has been in news lately, and last 2 years the research in this sector has been there. So we all know the only exhaustion which is happening in electric vehicles which are powered by hydrogen is water, and since water in gaseous form is exhausted, so answer is option D, which is water vapor. Okay, so 67 answer is D. Question number 68. Recently, the term pumped storage hydropower is actually and appropriately discussed in the context of which one of the following? So, foremost thing is, what is a pumped storage hydropower? So, this is a recent concept in hydro power production. So what is pumped storage? It is about constructing two reservoirs which are located at different elevations, and these reservoirs are separated by certain elevation, and then the water from reservoir which is located at an higher elevation moves from a certain height to a reservoir which is located at a lower elevation, and meanwhile the turbines are there on their pathway, and that actually produce power. That actually produce power. So basically, pumped storage hydropower act as energy storage. Energy storage, they are like batteries. And long duration, because as and when required and whatever quantity of energy is required, the energy is produced. So answer is very simple. So pumped storage hydropower is basically option C, which is long duration energy storage. So it is a form of hydropower generation as and when required, and the hydropower can be regulated in terms of its production. So option C is the right answer for question number 68. Now moving to another question. Membrane bioreactors are often discussed in the context of. So again, this is a very nice concept. So membrane bioreactors are those in which the separation layer which is used is porous, number one, and the porosity of the membrane is so less that it is within the range of 0.1 micrometers. So basically the wastewater is made to pass through the membrane which has so small pores of 0.1 micrometer, and definitely most of the impurities will be flushed out, and the only outcome is the pure water. So wastewater treatment technology is where the membrane bioreactors are used. So answer to 69 question is option D on your screen, wastewater treatment technologies. Moving to another question on your screen. So 70 question is economy, and so we are discussing geography, science, and tech and environment here. So we'll move to question number 71. Okay. So little tough. I would say it's a tough question. So the organisms cicada, froghopper, and pond skaters are. So if you all know, it's a knowledge-based question, factual question. They are insects. So cicada, froghopper and pond skaters, very unique kind of insects. They live in water. Cicada, froghopper, they live in both the environments, on land as well as on water. And pond skaters are basically very light insects which literally glide over water surface in lakes, ponds, and rivers. So cicada, froghopper, and pond skaters all are insects. Factual question. If you know, you know the answer. If you don't know, you have to skip and move to another question, right? So option C is the right answer. Okay, option C is the right answer. Moving to another question, 72 on your screen. Many chewing gums found in the market are considered a source of environmental pollution. So statement 1 is actually a correct statement, because yes, chewing gums found in the market are a source of environmental pollution because chewing gums contain plastics, and statement 2, many chewing gums contain plastic as gum base. So definitely statement 2 is the right explanation of statement 1. So it is a very simple and straightforward question, and the answer here is very simple. Again, both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1 very nicely. So question 72 answer is A, option A. Moving to another question, question 73. So consider the following pairs, and you see on in one column is written Brazil, country Brazil, Indonesia, and Madagascar, and then another column is written animal found in its natural habitat. Okay, animal found in its natural habitat. So basically, Brazil, the animal which is found in natural habitat is basically. So just wait for 4 seconds. Okay. So Brazil, so Indri, okay. So let me tell you a brief history. So Indri is a primate which is not found in Brazil. Okay. So Indri is a primate which is it's a species of primates which is essentially found in Africa. Not Brazil. Brazil is South America. Indri is native to Africa. And Indonesia, again, elk is written. Elk is also not an animal which is found in the natural habitat of Indonesia. It is found in natural habitat of Madagascar. Okay, and it is also found in many countries of North America and East Asia as well. So including bonobo. So elk is found in Madagascar, and some species have been taken to North America as well as they have been taken to East Asia and Central Asia. Okay, so Madagascar, bonobo is also the wrong option, and that's why the answer to question number 73 is D, which is none. Okay, so Indri does not belong to Brazil, elk does not belong to Indonesia, and bonobo does not belong to Madagascar. But yes, elk belongs to Madagascar. So if in elk, Madagascar would have been the country, it would have been the right match, But bonobo is written, so bonobo is found more in North America, Central Asia, East Asia, So neither of the three matches are correct. So the answer to question number 73 is D for Delhi. Moving to another question. So question is based on World Toilet Organization. So World Toilet Organization, it is one of the agencies of the United Nations. No, that is wrong. It is not one of the agencies of United Nations. It is actually started by an independent entrepreneur, which is from Singapore, called Jack Sim. So Jack Sim is basically by origin, he is a Chinese, and in 2001 Jack Sim founded World Toilet Organization, and it's a non-profit organization. So statement 1 is wrong. So number 2, World Toilet Summit, World Toilet Day and World Toilet College are the initiatives of this organization to inspire action to tackle the global sanitation crisis. So definitely this is correct. So World Toilet Summit, World Toilet Day and World Toilet College all are part of the founding by Jack Sim. And World Toilet Organization is not aiming to end any open defecation in underdeveloped or developing economies. The one simple objective is to improve the conditions of toilets and sanitation all over the world. And basically, we all know that the improvement in toilet conditions, sanitation conditions is primarily required in underdeveloping and underdeveloped and developing countries, and not in the developed countries. So basically, target is Africa, target is South Asia, target is countries which are in Indochina Peninsula, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and to certain extent Thailand as well. Okay, in Southeast Asia. So definitely the number 3 statement, the main focus of its function is to grant funds to the least developed countries and developing countries to achieve the end of open defecation. So that is not correct. So it is not about ending open defecation, but it is all about improving toilet and sanitary conditions, okay, in the concerned countries. So very simple. 1 is wrong, number 3 statement is wrong, 2 is the right answer. So answer to question number 74 is A. Okay, question number 74 is A. 2 only. Moving to another question, 75. Consider the following statements. Lions do not have a particular breeding season. Yes, so this is correct. Lions do not have a particular breeding season is because this is one family of cats, which requires to reproduce at least 3,000 times. It requires to reproduce, to produce a cub. So lions mating season is not a specific mating season, rather its mating season is every month, because to reproduce a cub, it requires a lot of mating periods, with the partner. So definitely lions do not have a particular breeding season, and they have a low fertility rate as well. Okay, so low fertility rate. So that's why, since they have a low fertility rate, they have to mate a number of times to produce a cub. So number 2, unlike most other big cats, cheetahs do not roar. Okay, so this is also correct, and not only cheetahs but leopards also do not roar, because there is a bone in the throat which is called a hyoid bone, Hyoid. So hyoid bone is a bone, which is a U-shaped bone, and this bone is responsible for the voice. So if the hyoid bone is incomplete from birth, because hyoid bone takes about 30 weeks to take its full shape, and in these cats, especially cheetahs and leopards, the hyoid bone is incomplete, and that's why they purr, Purr, and they don't roar. Okay, so number 3 statement here, unlike male lions, male leopards do not proclaim their territory by scent marking. So this is a wrong statement. Unlike male lions, male leopards, they proclaim their territory by scent marking. So they do that. So statement 3 is wrong. Statement 1 and 2 are correct. And that's why the answer to question number 75 is 1 and 2, which is option A. Moving to another question on your screen. 76. So this question, okay, very interesting question again. So this is based on 100 million farmers. So which one of the following is the correct description of 100 million farmers? On your left, So basically, the answer is very simple. If you know about this initiative, the answer is A. Okay, so it is a platform for accelerating the transition towards food and water systems that are net zero. Again, this net zero is very much in news because minimizing carbon emissions from any kind of agricultural or industrial activity is basically a multilateral initiative from the developed as well as developing countries. But the more focus, as we all know, if you're following climate change conventions and all in the last 10 years, the main focus is on the developing countries which are still using conventional technology to produce power, and also their ways of producing agricultural crops are conventional and orthodox in nature. So definitely the eyes of developed world is on developing world, wherein they want the developing world to reduce carbon emissions to a very low level. So 100 million farmers is a concept which talks about net zero, nature positive, and aims to increase farmer resilience. Farmer resilience to what? So farmer resilience to natural disasters, economic crisis, and other disasters or other problems which farmers have to face. So answer is very simple. It is option A. Okay. Moving to another question, 77 on the left on your screen. So consider the following: battery storage, biomass generators, fuel cells, rooftop solar, photovoltaic units. So basically these are, all of them are are considered to be distributed energy sources. So in distributed energy sources, and when required, a regulated type of energy. So battery storage, biomass generators, hydrogen fuel cells, and solar photovoltaic units all are examples of distributed energy sources. So answer is very simple. It is option number D. Option number D, all four. Moving to another question on your screen, 78 on your right. Which one of the following, which one of the following shows a unique relationship with an insect that has co-evolved with it, and that is the only insect that can pollinate this tree? Okay, so yes, answer is not mahua, not sandalwood, but the answer is fig. Answer is fig. So fig trees are a very unique kind of trees wherein the flower is at the center of an immature fruit. So the insect has to penetrate the immature fruit skin, and then it has to enter the flower, and by entering the flower, it pollinates, it lays eggs, and it does not happen, this pollination does not happen with either mahua, nor with the sandalwood, and nor with silk cotton. Okay, so it's a unique fruit and unique kind of concept, and that's why the answer to 78 question is option A, which is fig. Okay. Moving to another question, 79 on your screen. Consider the following butterflies, fish, and frogs. So how many of them have poisonous species among them? Okay. So again, answer is all three, because butterflies also have poisonous species. So one example is African giant swallowtail. So it's a poisonous butterfly. In among fishes, there are many examples: stonefishes, piranha, pufferfish, electric eel. So they have a tetrodotoxin, and electric eel is also a very unique species of fish which attacks with high voltage. So about 330 to 450 volts of electric energy is produced. And we all know piranha again, the fish species with large teeth, and it is a kind of predator in riverine water. Okay, so definitely fishes also have poisonous species among them. And then coming to frogs, yes, so one couple of example here: poison dart frog, which is found native of Central and South America. It is a brightly colored frog. And another example is golden poison frog. So definitely frogs also have poisonous species. So answer is very simple to question number 79. Answer is C, which is all three. Moving to another question, 80. So consider the following: cashew, papaya, and red sanders. So how many of the above trees are actually native to India? So the answer is 1, which is 3, red sanders, which is basically red sandalwood. So red sandalwood is an extremely important commercial tree of India, which is native of Andhra Pradesh. And India has prohibited neither export of red sandalwood and neither any import of red sandalwood. So it's a kind of protected tree. And red sandalwood currently is under Schedule 4 of Wildlife Protection Act, which requires ultimate protection. So any kind of species, whether faunal or floral, whether animal or plant, when they are in Schedule 4 of Wildlife Protection Act in India, they are protected from hunting, poaching and transportation as and when people or organizations are involved. So strict prohibition, and red sandalwood is a native of India. And for your knowledge, cashew is a native of Brazil and papaya is a native of southern Mexico. So answer is very simple to question number 80. So answer is only one. Okay, option A. Moving to another question on your screen. 81 on your left, consider the following airports: Donny Polo Airport, Kushinagar International Airport, and Vijayawada International Airport. So Donny Polo, number 1, is an airport which was constructed in Itanagar in the year 2022. So it was commissioned on 19 November 2022. Kushinagar Airport was constructed 1 year earlier in UP. On 20th October 2021 it was commissioned, and both these airports, constructed 2 years back and 3 years back, are respectively greenfield airports, but Vijayawada Airport in Andhra Pradesh is a brownfield airport. So answer is again very simple. Question 81, answer is option A, which is 1 and 2 only. Moving to another question, number 82. With reference to water vapor, which of the following statements are correct? So again, a factual and a straightforward conceptual question from geography. So it is a gas, the amount of which decreases with altitude. Certainly very simple, because water vapor is a gas which is basically a gas which has more amount of moisture in a certain air parcel. So whenever we move away from the ground level and we increase in height, definitely the content of water vapor will reduce, because the source of water is from the surface of the earth only. So the source of water vapor is from lakes, ponds, rivers and oceans. And as we move away from the ground surface, with height, the amount of water vapor reduces. Number 2, its percentage is maximum at the poles. So number 2 statement, its percentage is at maximum at the poles, is wrong. So its percentage is minimum at the poles, because at the poles the amount of evaporation is minimum, and at equator, which is located around the center of the earth, the amount of evaporation is maximum, and that's why water vapor content is maximum around equator and not around poles. So it should be opposite, its percentage is minimum at the poles. So answer is very simple, option A, 1 only, right? So coming to another question from geography on your screen, 83. Consider the following description: annual and daily range of temperatures is low. Number 2, precipitation occurs throughout the year. Number 3, precipitation varies between 50 centimeters to 250 centimeters. Again, a very easy question. And this question, the answer is again very straightforward. On your screen, option A, equatorial climate. So annual and daily range of temperatures is low. So definitely in an equatorial region, annual range of temperature is hardly 4 to 5 degrees centigrade, because winters are at 23 to 24 degrees centigrade in the months from December to January ideally, and summers are between 28 to 30 degrees centigrade, between May and June primarily. So the annual range of temperature is less than 5 degrees centigrade, and also the daily range of temperature is low, because the daily range does not fluctuate, only it is altered whenever there is rainfall. So rainfall reduces temperature, and then there is sunlight, so again temperature rises by 2-3 degrees centigrade. So again the daily range of temperature is less than 5 degrees centigrade. Precipitation occurs throughout the year, so this is definitely correct about equatorial type of regions, because precipitation occurs from January to December, and the precipitation maximizes in the months of April and October, and that's why equatorial regions are called regions of double peak rainfall. So one peak occurs after March, which is the spring equinox. So when the sun is on equator, immediately after heating of about 1 month, April becomes the month of maximum rainfall. Again, the after crossing June, Tropic of Cancer, the direct rays of the sun are on equator in September, and after 1 month of heating in October, again the second peak of rainfall is observed, and that's why these are two peaks of rainfall, but nonetheless, apart from these two peaks, the rainfall in equatorial region occurs throughout the year. So precipitation varies between 50 centimeters to 250. So definitely 50 centimeters in the interiors of the continents which are away from the coastline, and 250 centimeters is the rainfall where evaporation from the ocean bodies are maximum. So this is at the coastline. So for example, African coastline, which is countries, western coastline of Africa surrounding Gulf of Guinea. So these are countries of Cameroon, Gabon, Nigeria, Niger, they have high rainfall. But when we move to Central African countries, the rainfall reduces, So answer is very simple to this question. 1, 2 and 3 lead to equatorial climate. Okay. 83 answer is A. Another question on your screen, on your right. With reference to Coriolis force, which of the following statements are correct? Number one, it increases with increase in wind velocity. This is very, very correct, because Coriolis force means deflection of the wind blowing in a certain direction. And whenever the wind velocity is higher, the deflection from the original direction of the wind is also higher, or it increases. So Coriolis force, what is it? It is a pseudo force which is produced as a result of rotation of the earth. So rotation occurs from west to east, and because of rotation of this giant mass of earth, there is deflection on the moving objects. So moving objects are basically air, which becomes wind. Moving objects are satellite launches, rocket launches. So definitely there is an effect of deflection, and this effect of deflection due to rotation of the earth is called Coriolis force. So it increases with increase in wind velocity. Number two, it is maximum at the poles and is absent at the equator. So this option is also correct. This option is also correct. So maximum at the poles, near about 80 to 90 degree north latitude and south latitude, and it is absent at equator. Why? The reason is very, very simple. Coriolis force is directly proportional to the amount of mass and volume of earth. So around equator, we know the earth has a bulge. So if Earth has a bulge around equator, what it means is the mass and volume is higher. So when such a giant body with concentration of mass at the center is rotating with a certain speed, definitely the rotation is not felt much. And because rotation is not felt much around the center of the earth, which is around equator, the Coriolis force is nearly absent. But as we move towards the poles, the volume and bulk of the earth reduces, and earth just converges around the poles. The fine example is like longitudes converge at the poles, because the mass and volume becomes lesser, and lesser the mass and volume around the poles, the higher will be the effect of rotation, and because higher will be the effect of rotation, the Coriolis force will also be higher. So statement 2 is also correct. So answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Moving to 85. On June 21 every year, which of the following latitudes experience a sunlight of more than 12 hours? Equator, no, because the direct rays of the sun are not on equator. The direct rays of the sun are on Tropic of Cancer, which is 23.5 degree north latitude. Okay, so definitely where the direct rays of the sun are out of 24 hours, for more than 12 hours, the sunlight will be there. Another region here, which is Arctic Circle, number 4. So Arctic Circle is located at 66.5 degree north latitude. So again, the sunlight will be of more than 12 hours, because any place in northern hemisphere during the summer season, especially around the summer solstice of June 21, when the sun rays are on Tropic of Cancer, there is a impact on Arctic Circle also, despite the fact that the rays of the sun are slant. But certainly for out of 24 hours, the sunlight is for more than 12 hours. So 2 is correct, Tropic of Cancer. The regions around Tropic of Cancer will have more than 12 hours of sunlight, as well as the regions around Arctic Circle will have more than 12 hours of sunlight. And for Tropic of Cancer, which is number 3, it is opposite. It will be the winter season and sunlight will be for less than 12 hours. And for equator, it is equal 12 hours of sunlight and 12 hours of moonlight. So 12 plus 12 equals 24. So in this question, answer is 2 and 4. Right? So option D is the right answer. Okay. Coming to question number 86. So 86 is again a factual question. If you know it, and if you don't know, you have to move to another question. Okay. So one of the following regions has the world's largest tropical peatland. So what is a peatland? So peatland is basically that land where in a geological past, much of the plant and tree cover went subducted under the ground. It got decomposed, and decomposed wood or vegetal matter ultimately gives out a form of coal which is called peat. Although peat has very less carbon content, it has more of water content. It is the starting process of converting a vegetal matter into coal. So in this question, largest tropical peatland which holds about 3 years worth of global carbon emissions from fossil fuels and the possible destruction of which can exert detrimental effect on the global climate. Which one of the following denotes that region? So answer is very simple. It is Congo. So Congo Basin, I'll tell you for your factual knowledge. So Congo Basin is having nearly 36% of the world's tropical peatland area. So currently the peatland which is estimated in the world is about 5 lakh square kilometers, 0.5 million square kilometers, or you can say 5 lakh square kilometers. And out of this 5 lakh, nearly 1 lakh 67,000, so 1.67 lakh square kilometers of peatland area is in Congo Basin surrounding Cameroon, Gabon and the Central African countries. Okay, and the second largest peatland in the world is Amazon Basin. So Amazon Basin is basically having 36,500 square kilometers of peatland area, and this is only 7.5% of the world's total. And you see option C here, Kikori Basin. So Kikori Basin is the peatland in Papua New Guinea. Now this is an island nation which is located north of Australia. It is on equator. And another option D is Rio de la Plata. So Rio de la Plata Basin is in Argentina. It is formed by the confluence of two rivers in South America. One is Uruguay River and another is Parana River. So the answer to question number 86 is very straightforward. Congo Basin holds the largest tropical peatland in the world currently at 36% of the total area. So 86 answer is B. Moving to another question, question number 87 on your screen on your left. So with reference to perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances, which in short are called PFAS, that are used in making many consumer products, consider the following statements. So number one, PFAS are found to be widespread in drinking water, food and food packaging materials. So that is correct. So PFAS are nothing but they are complex group of synthetic chemicals, and they have been used since 1952, for different types of, for making different types of consumer products. So it's been more than 70 years of history since perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances have been used. Number two statement, PFAS are not easily degraded in the environment, and that's why their utility is higher. Number three statement, persistent exposure to PFAS can lead to bioaccumulation in animal bodies, So definitely it has some side effects also. So some of the harmful effects which PFAS can cause are changes in cholesterol levels, changes in liver enzymes, and it alters infant birth weight, and it alters sometimes in immunity levels also if there is consistent exposure to PFAS. So definitely all three statements are correct, and the answer to question number 87 is D, which is 1, 2 and 3. Coming to question number 88, again a tough question I will say, and if you know, if you don't know, you don't know. So right, so we'll consider the following. So carabid beetles, centipedes, flies, termites and wasps, so 5 animal species are given here, and they've used a term, and the question is parasitoid species are found in how many of the above kinds of organisms. Now, number one, what is this parasitoid? So parasitoid species are those species which can dwell or live in a host, and they can not only live in a host, but they can grow in a host, and whenever they reach a mature stage, they will come out of the host's body. So dangerous species. You might have seen many alien movies and other movies which are based on extraterrestrial stuff, and you see aliens outgrow of the body of the host. And if you have seen movies based on species which are alien in nature, and when they enter a host body, and if the host body is not able to control and support the parasitoid species, the host body will ultimately die, and this host will not be able to survive. So parasitoid have a very negative impact on the host, which is basically, it could be an animal, it could be a human, it could be anything. And this host is not only is getting consumed because of the parasitoid injection, but it is basically dying. Another term which is closely associated with parasitoid is called the parasite. So parasite is a species which feeds on the host to grow, right? So it is a species. For example, if among the tree species, I'll give you examples of climbers, epiphytes and parasites. So these are parasites, the kind of climbers which are found in equatorial forest, which consume the host to grow. So parasites are little different, but parasitoids are more dangerous. So they consume all the nutrients, and then they make the host die. So among these five species which are written here, I'll tell you, the answer is very simple to this question. The answer is only three. Option B is the right answer. No, option B is the right answer. So basically, centipede as well as the termites. So 2 and 4, they are not parasitoids. So carabid beetles is a parasitoid, flies is a parasitoid, and wasp also is a parasitoid. So 1, 3, and 5 are correct. So answer to question number 88 is 3. Centipede is not a parasitoid, as well as termite is not a parasitoid. Now coming to another question. Question number 89. Consider the following plants: groundnut, horse gram, and soybean. So how many of the above belong to the pea family? So pea family, it's a very very simple question. If you know, groundnut is belonging to a pea family. Horse gram is belonging to a pea family. Soybean also is belonging to a pea family. So in total in the world, around 20,000 species are there of flowering plants which belong to pea family. So answer is very simple to question number 89. It is C, all three. Okay, it is C, all three. Moving to question number 90. Indian flying fox is placed under the vermin category in the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So this is the correct statement. Indian flying fox is a bat species. And what is vermin? So vermin is basically that species which destroys or decimates crops, and it is also a threat to livelihood. So vermin category is that category as per Government of India Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, that no hunting will be prohibited for vermin species. In fact, hunting or poaching of vermin species is encouraged, so that they no more destroy or decimate crops, neither they are a threat to livelihood. Okay, so statement 1 about Indian flying fox is correct. Statement 2, Indian flying fox feeds on the blood of other animals. So this option is not correct. Indian flying fox does not feed on the blood of animals. In fact, Indian flying fox is a frugivorous. Frugivorous are those species which survive on fruits, and they also survive on nectar of flowers. So vegetarian, you can say in straight terminology. So Indian flying fox is a frugivorous, surviving on fruits in the wild forest as well as nectar of the flowers. So statement 2 is wrong. So answer to question number 90C, which is statement 1, is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Coming to question number 91 on your screen on the left. The atmosphere, statement assertion type of question. So consider the following statement. Statement 1, The atmosphere is heated more by incoming solar radiation than by terrestrial radiation. Okay, so this statement is not correct. This statement is wrong because atmosphere is heated more by outgoing solar radiation. So outgoing solar radiation is long wave radiation. So whenever solar radiation falls on the surface of the earth, the reflected radiation is long wave. So incoming solar radiation is short wave, which is more heat, but outgoing solar radiation is long wave. Okay, so the earth's atmosphere is more heated by reflected long wave radiation, okay, not by incoming solar radiation. And we all know there are greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So whenever long wave radiation or solar radiation reflected back, it is absorbed by CO2, nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, which are greenhouse gases, and they trap heat, and because of which the temperature of the earth's atmosphere rises. So statement 1 is wrong. Statement 2, carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are good absorbers of long wave radiation. Okay, so this is correct. So statement 2 is correct. There is not a problem. And because carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases are absorbers of reflected long wave radiation, and this reflected long wave radiation is more responsible for heating of Earth's atmosphere than short wave radiation. So answer to question number 91 is option number D, which is statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct. So option D for Delhi is the answer to 91. 92. Consider the following statement. Statement 1, thickness of the troposphere at equator is much greater as compared to poles. So this is definitely right. So troposphere is a atmospheric layer which is found above the surface of the earth at an elevation of 8 to 10 kilometers. And why the thickness of troposphere is higher at equator? Because there is a lot of evaporation and lot of evaporation from the water bodies around equator, and because of which the cumulonimbus clouds, which are the dark gray vertical clouds in the shape of a cauliflower, which are narrower at the bottom, broader at the top, so they span across a huge elevation in the troposphere, and that's why they extend the height of troposphere around equator. And at the poles the evaporation is minimum, cloud formation is also minimum, because of which troposphere is found at a much lower elevation. Statement 2, at equator heat is transported to great heights by strong convectional currents. So at equator heat is transported to great heights by strong convectional currents. So this also is a correct statement. And at equator, if heat is transported to great heights by strong convectional current, so what is a convectional current? So air carrying moisture or water vapor, and it is moving vertically upwards. So air basically cools down with height as it loses the heat to the surrounding atmosphere. So air cools down with height, losing heat to the surrounding. So definitely this is the cause of creation of clouds, which is mentioned in statement 1. And because the clouds span across a greater elevation in the atmosphere, that's why the troposphere is of much greater thickness compared to the poles. At equator it is of much greater thickness, and the reason is statement 2, because heat is transported to great heights by strong convectional current. So answer is A. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1 very nicely. So 92 answer is A. Moving to question number 93. So consider the following: pyroclastic debris, ash and dust, nitrogen compounds, sulfur compounds. So what is pyroclastic debris? So it is the outcome of volcanic eruption. So whenever molten matter, gases, and the stones which are very hot, they fly into the air. Such kind of debris is called pyroclastic debris. So how do they fly into the air? They come out of the vent of the volcano with a huge force, and when they are ejected into the atmosphere, they fly to some height and then they fall back. If they are solids, they fall back to earth. If it is gas, they just escape. Right. So pyroclastic debris, ash and dust, we all know, very simple. Nitrogen compounds, the gases associated with nitrogen, the gases of sulfur, they all are products of volcanic eruption. So for question number 93, the answer is very simple. Option D for Delhi, all 4 is the right answer. D for Delhi. Okay, all four. Question number 94, another factual question from geography. Which of the following are correct inferences from isothermal maps in the month of January? So isotherms are basically lines which join places of equal temperature in the world. So statement 1, the isotherms deviate to the north over the ocean and to the south over the continent. So this is correct because isotherms diverge in the north over the ocean because the in the northern hemisphere the proportion of land increases with latitude and compared to southern hemisphere. So definitely there is a huge temperature difference between land and water, because of which isotherms diverge in the north, and in south, they diverge over the continent, because in the south the temperature difference between land and the ocean reduces. And a statement 2 here, the presence of cold ocean currents, Gulf Stream, and North Atlantic drift make the North Atlantic Ocean colder and the isotherms bend towards north. So this is wrong. First of all, Gulf Stream, North Atlantic drift do not make North Atlantic Ocean colder, rather both are warm currents. So Gulf Stream washes the shoreline from Gulf of Mexico up to nearly New York City, which is located at about 40° north latitude, and from there on, the second arm of the warm current of Gulf Stream branches into the open North Atlantic Ocean, which crisscrosses the North Atlantic Ocean and finally reaches the northwestern coastline of Europe around England, Ireland, Iceland, and in the North Sea. And these are warm currents. They reduce oceanic surface temperature rather than increasing it. So statement 2 is wrong. Statement 1 is correct. So answer to question number 94 is A, which is 1 only, right? Question number 95. Which of the following countries are well known as the two largest cocoa producers in the world? So, if you have read this in tropical grasslands, this question, or tropical monsoonal regions of Africa. So, there are nearly 5 countries which are responsible for cocoa production in Africa. So, one is Cote d'Ivoire, which is the country situated in nearly central and western Africa, and another country is Ghana. Apart from these, Ivory Coast and Nigeria, as well as Cameroon, are other 3 countries which, in combined form, produce around 75% of world's cocoa. And this 75% of world's cocoa from Ghana, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, and Cameroon is exported primarily to confectionery, which is ice cream industries and food based industries based on milk. And cocoa is a very rich natural ingredient which is used for making cocoa chocolates, which fetch high export value in the world market. So ice cream industry uses a lot of cocoa, as well as chocolate industries use a lot of cocoa, and nearly 75% of cocoa in the world comes from these 5 countries. Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ghana. So answer is very simple, option C. Moving to 96, question number 96 on your screen on the left. Okay, so at least one question this time from rivers. So we have been missing rivers in UPSC Prelims 2024, but one question has been there. So let us read it. With reference to the Himalayan rivers joining Ganga downstream of Prayagraj from west to east, which one of the following sequences is correct? So option A, Ghagra, Gomti, Gandak, Kosi. So Ghagra River joins Ganga, in Ghazipur district of eastern UP. So this Ghazipur district of eastern UP borders with Bihar. So then Gomti joins Ganga in Ghagra joins Ganga in Chhapra, Bihar. I'm so sorry, which is the westernmost district of Bihar, and Gomti River joins River Ganga in Ghazipur district of eastern UP bordering Bihar. No, so Gomti is westernmost because it joins Ganga in UP, and UP lies west of Bihar, followed by Ghagra, which joins Ganga in Chhapra district of Bihar, which is in western Bihar. And then you see Gandak River joins Ganga in Patna. So exact location is Sonpur village So Patna is located near about central Bihar, and then Kosi River joins Ganga in Katihar region of Bihar, which is located in eastern Bihar. So this is the part of eastern Bihar. So if you see from west to east, Gomti joins Ganga in Bihar, UP, followed by Ghagra in Chhapra, which is western Bihar, followed by Gandak in central Bihar and Patna, which is eastern Bihar. So option B is the right answer from west to east. So Gomti, Ghagra, Gandak, Kosi join Ganga from west to east in this manner. So option B, 96 answer is option B. 97, rainfall statement assertion type of question again. Rainfall is one of the reasons for weathering of rocks. Yes, definitely it is correct. Statement 2, rainwater contains carbon dioxide in solution. Statement 3, rainwater contains atmospheric oxygen. So statement 2 is also correct because H2O, which is rainwater, has high levels of attraction or affinity for CO2, and it absorbs CO2 and converts CO2 by combining with it into carbonic acid. The chemical formula is H2CO3. And certainly, carbonic acid is responsible for disintegration of rocks. Statement 3, rainwater contains atmospheric oxygen. So definitely, whenever the oxygen content is there in water, by the process of oxidation, it produces rusting of the rock. So rusting kiska hota hai? Rusting happens of iron, and when iron combines with oxygen and oxygen is trapped in rainwater, iron will convert to a higher order oxide, which is ferric oxide. So Fe2O3 is the chemical formula, and Fe2O3 is an outcome of oxidation of iron content in the rocks, and Fe2O3 is then easily removed by erosion. So if iron is present in independent quantity, it is not easy to remove. But when oxidation has happened and there is higher oxide of iron, Fe2O3 can be easily removed, and this Fe2O3 is called rusting or rust. Right? So definitely statement 2 and 3 both are the reasons for weathering of rocks. So that's why the option number B is the right answer. Both statement 2 and statement 3 are correct. Sorry, option C is the right answer. Uh, uh, I'm so sorry. What is? Yes, option A. So both statement 2 and statement 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. So statement 2, that rainwater contains carbon dioxide, and statement 3, that rainwater contains oxygen, which results in oxidation. So both statements combined result into the weathering of rocks by rainfall. So option A is the right answer to 97. Now coming to another question here, 97. So coming to 98. So 98 is, consider the following countries on your left: Finland, Germany, Norway, Russia. So which of them have a border with North Sea? So see, Finland does not have a border with the North Sea. It has border with Gulf of Bothnia, and again, Russia does not have border with North Sea. It has border with the Arctic Ocean. So only Germany in the northeast, towards northeast, sorry, Germany towards south west or south of North Sea, and Norway, which is located north of North Sea, share border with North Sea. So answer is 2 and 3. So only 2. Option B is the right answer. Germany and Norway share border with North Sea, and not Finland and Russia. Okay, so 98 question answer is only 2, option B. Coming to the second last question. 99 on your right. Consider the following information: Dhuandhar, Malwa, Narmada. So waterfall, region and river. So Dhuandhar falls are also called cloudy and misty falls. They are located in Jabalpur division of Madhya Pradesh, and they are not located in Malwa region. They are located near about Vindhyas and Satpuras. So definitely river is correct, Narmada, but the region is incorrect. Number 2, Hundru falls. So Hundru Falls are located in Ranchi district of Jharkhand, and the region is correct. It is the Chota Nagpur Plateau region, surrounded by Hazaribagh Plateau, Ramgarh Hills, Garjat Hills in Odisha, and the river is also correct, Subarnarekha, which flows from west to east, draining into Odisha, right, near Mahanadi. Number 3, Gersopa is a correct. It's a waterfall, also famously called Jog Falls. So Gersopa Falls are located in Western Ghats, absolutely correct. And in Western Ghats, Gersopa or Jog Falls can be viewed from Shimoga. Shimoga district, which is the origin of river Sharavati. So the answer Netravati is not correct. So Netravati is not correct. The river name is Sharavati. So in this now three match pair, only two is correct, which is Hundru. So answer is correctly matched is only one. So option A is the right answer. Good, which is Hundru, Chota Nagpur, and Subarnarekha river. Last question of this question paper. So again, the match pairs. So region, name of mountain range, and type of mountain. Okay. So number one, Central Asia, Vosges, Fold Mountain. So Central Asia is wrong. Vosges are block mountains. They are a horsed and graben topography located in France. Number two, Europe, Alps. Europe and Alps are correct, and we know Alps are located in Switzerland, Romania, in the south central region of southern Europe. So Alps and Europe are correct, but Alps is not a block mountain. Alps is a mountain which is formed by the convergence of African plate from the south and European or Eurasian plate in the north. And because of this convergence, convergence between two continental plates, the result is fold mountain of Alps and not block mountain. So fold mountains are formed when two continental plates converge, and because of compression, the land which is compressed in between rises up in elevation, resulting in a folding. But block mountains are those mountains which are a result of faulting. So they are cracks on the surface of the earth due to tectonic activity like earthquakes. So because of faulting, if the crack is there, one portion of the earth's crust may rise up, one portion may just dive down, and so resulting in a rift valley. And this rift valley is called graben, and the block mountain is called a horst. So definitely block mountain cannot be associated with Alps. So here 2 is incorrect. Number 3, North America Appalachians Fold Mountain. This is correct. So North America is where Appalachians are located. They basically are on the eastern coast of North America, from the north of Gulf of Florida up to New York, up to the border of USA and Canada. So it is separated by Newfoundland Island in Canada, and to the south lies New York, the state of New York. So Appalachians Fold Mountain, number 3 is correct. Number 4, South America Andes and Fold Mountain. So see, the name Andes of South America, which is a mountain range from north to south in the form of Cordillera. Cordillera means a group of mountain, is basically derived from andesite. So andesite is nothing but it's an outcome of molten magma cooling and solidifying over the surface of the earth. So what cools and solidifies? Basalt, which is the rock of the ocean. So what happens here is the Pacific Ocean plate subducts under the South American plate on the western coastline, and when it subducts, because of higher temperature in the astrosphere, it melts, and because of the melting it rises up, it becomes molten, and upon cooling and solidification it becomes andesite. So the name of Andes is derived from andesite, so andesitic rocks and Andes. So when we associate Andes with Fold Mountain, it is majorly wrong. I'm not denying the fact that there are no fold mountains in Andes, because any mountain range which is volcanic will definitely be, the land will be undergoing compression, and the fold mountains will be there. But fold mountains are of very low height, in this Andes mountain range. But the majority of the mountain or the bulk of the mountains are volcanic in nature, which are andesitic in nature, and that's why the western coastline of South America is called Andes. So when we associate some mountain range, we have to associate with the term which is a volcanic rock or andesitic mountain. We cannot call Andes a fold mountain. It is wrong to say. So I would say number 4 option is wrong. So whenever we associate somebody, I'll give you an example, with the strongest vibe. So if somebody is extrovert, definitely we'll call the person extrovert. We will not call it introvert, because someday they behaved like introvert. So Andes can be associated in a type of mountain with only volcanic mountain and not fold mountain. So here, the answer will be 3. Only 3 is correct. So that is A. Option A is the right answer. Other coaching institutes might give you fold mountain for Andes, but although fold mountains are there, they are in very minor number, but major number of mountains in Andes are volcanic rocks, So that's why answer to question number 100 is A. Okay. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the discussion, and I hope you got the clarity on questions on geography, science and tech, and environment and ecology. So we'll see you in another session. Thank you and bye bye.